Good morning, good morning, everybody. How are you doing today? It's a little cold here in New Jersey. I am not going to lie. It seems like in the past 2 weeks, it got really, really cold. Anyone else noticing this? I'm Jessica Perrone. I am the founder of Her Fin IQ, and you are here attending the Her Money and Investing show. Thank you so much for showing up month after month, week after week. And as you come into the show, hey, introduce yourself, let us know where you are. And also tell me what your favorite deal of Black Friday and Cyber Monday was. That's the question of the day. What was your favorite deal from your Black Friday and your Cyber Money? The Cyber Monday. Yes, we're talking about money here, but the Cyber Monday. So the big news coming into today's show, and we had a really big move yesterday in regards to it. So the Fed chair, Jerome Powell, last night signaled that the central bank will slow the pace of interest rate increases next month. And Bloomberg went on to say that while stressing borrowing costs will need to keep rising and remain restrictive for some time to beat inflation. And what Powell actually said was cutting rates is not something we want to do soon. So what we're getting out of this is that they're going to slow the pace, which Wall Street loved yesterday, but they are not going to start reducing anytime soon. So those are the two key words that I wanted to sort of have you pay attention as the markets got really, really excited about these comments yesterday. So when I started thinking about these interest rates not coming down anytime soon, I started thinking about some of the real estate headlines that I have been reading in the news. And some of these headlines I've been seeing are headlines like that U.S. consumers faced with inflation and the high price of homes are pressing the pause button on home buying, right? So as inflation goes up and as the high price of homes goes up, there's a pause in buying of homes. And then I also I saw this comment from Jonathan Levin from Bloomberg, and he made a really interesting point here too. He said rising inventory in housing's is housing's next problem. Demand has plummeted as mortgage rates hit a 2-decade high, but prices haven't declined in part because supply remains low. Supply is remaining low. If borrowing costs don't start to normalize by early next year, the scales may tip and prices could plunge as the spring sees a flood of new listings. So these are potentially some ramifications of interest rates staying high that I'm starting to think about, and these headlines that I'm starting to see come across that I think we should all kind of, pause and think about as well. Now, the other part of the economy that is affected by high interest rates, and it's a very trendy word, and I want to take a little bit of time to describe this, and that is a concept called zombie companies. Has anyone heard this concept before? This zombie company concept? Well, zombie companies are defined by Goldman Sachs as companies that are typically haven't produced enough profit to service their debts. Okay, for 3 straight years. So they haven't been able to service their debts for 3 straight years. Based on that definition, some 13% of companies based in the US could be considered examples of the living dead. 13% of companies, according to Goldman Sachs. That's a huge number. I also found this really interesting Fortune article where Will Daniel also defined zombie companies, and he defined it as a uneconomically unviable firms that need to borrow to stay alive. An era of cheap money and high risk investing has fueled the rise of the walking dead in businesses all over the world in the past decade. So three inputs into this would be, number one, that with interest rates soaring, the money isn't as cheap as it used to be. And so the cost of borrowing increases for corporations. So this is sort of, a huge reason why a lot of companies that aren't profitable have sold off in the markets. So, and in turn, these inputs here affect zombie companies who are already struggling to pay their interest rates. Okay. So this Forbes article also highlighted 3 stocks, like Carvana, right? They also mentioned Peloton as zombie company examples, and 2 meme stock favorites, AMC and GameStop. Now, how can you sort of, think about zombie companies when you are investing? Well, there's two items that I want to bring up here. In a separate note on Tuesday, Bernstein analyst said that Mr. Markets has made it clear that growth at all costs will no longer cut it. And public companies stand to be structurally derated if they aren't able to showcase, one, a path to sustained profitability and free cash flow, and number 2, an underlying model that can grow at a healthy clip without being funded by zero interest rates. So, how can you tell if a company can potentially in the future have profitability? Well, there is a tool that I really love, and it's actually a free tool on the NASDAQ website. And so you can go to NASDAQ and you can type in a ticker, and then along the left sidebar, it has a bunch of fundamentals. On the left side, there is an aspect for earnings. And I'm actually going to put this feature in the chat for Carvana. Yes. So I'm putting this right now into the chat for you guys to check out. Actually, I forgot about this. I can actually put it in the broadcast. But anyhow, this is the link where you can see earnings. And in this, you can actually check out their yearly earnings forecast for the next few years. Yes. So you can forecast and see if potentially there is a road to profitability with this tool. So really super cool feature. Definitely, if you are worried about investing in zombie companies, this can be a super great tool, easy, basic tool for you to be able to sort of see if a company is on the road to profitability and not get caught up with a zombie company. Hey, Kendra, thank you so much for coming. Yeah, there's a lot of features on the NASDAQ website that I really love. But when it comes to earnings and earnings estimates, I really love the way they have it all represented. Yes, it's definitely a tool I use on a regular basis. Now, as I was thinking about zombie companies, okay, so you guys know how I sort of go on these rabbit holes and I start thinking, and I love to bring in personal examples as well. Now, I was starting to think about how could there be a personal finance angle on zombie companies. Do any of you have any guesses on how I'm going to bring that parallel back together to personal finance and company finance? Well, so this is where my brain went when I was thinking about a potential situation where an individual could be a financial zombie. Okay. And I probably should have brought this up for Halloween. I think that it would have been a really great concept for Halloween. But so here was the thought I had. So say you're an individual and you have maxed out all your credit cards. Yes. And I'm going to even take this further when thinking about the holiday season. I am. So just stay with me a little bit here. Okay. So you've maxed out all of your credit cards and you can only pay the interest on the debt. You can't pay off the principal for whatever reason, and you are only paying off the interest. Okay. Now, it would be even worse. And I just thought of this if you were only paying the minimum and the minimum is potentially less than the interest. Oh my goodness. Then we have all sorts of compounding. And yeah, we're definitely losing traction on getting that debt under control. Okay, so as interest rates increase, so does the cost of your credit card debt. So similar to these zombie companies, your debt, the cost of your debt also goes up. And not only does it go up because of interest rates, there's actually two other reasons why this interest rate would go up. Okay. It goes up also because of your credit score going down. When your credit score goes down, your interest rate on your credit card will go up. Yes, it will. And there are two aspects that go into that credit score that are really important. It is your debt to income ratio and your credit utilization ratio. Okay. So if your cost of debt goes up and your interest rates the interest that you're paying off goes up because your interest rates are going up, well, you're getting into this cycle of debt that you cannot get out of. And instead of using this capital to grow your wealth, or a normal company using capital to grow and be profitable and to become more profitable, right? Then instead of growing your own wealth, you are stuck in the cycle of paying interest to credit card companies. Yes, you become a financial zombie. And I don't know if I have coined this term. I don't know if I'm the first one to say this, but yes, a financial zombie. So, so how do you prevent becoming a financial zombie this holiday season? Okay, so now you see where I am going on and here, chime in. How are some ways that you are going to prevent from becoming a financial zombie this holiday season? Definitely, join in the chat and let's talk about it a little bit. But I started to think about this a lot as the Black Friday and Cyber Monday headlines came in. So out of USA Today, they have a little ditty about Black Friday. And what they said was online shoppers didn't let concerns about higher prices or a recession keep them from a record-setting Black Friday. Consumers spent a record $9.12 billion while shopping online on Friday. Okay. And that is an increase of 2.3% over a year ago, surpassing the previous online Black Friday sales high mark of $9.03 billion in 2020. Now, I also saw this headline out of Amazon and Seeking Alpha, where they announced that the extended Thanksgiving holiday shopping weekend was its biggest ever, with customers purchasing hundreds of millions of products over the 5 days. Yes. So yes, the consumer bought a lot over the Thanksgiving weekend with Black Friday and Cyber Monday. But there was a sobering headline that I saw out of Wells Fargo. And Wells Fargo noted that credit card debt increased $38 billion during the third quarter. Yes, credit card debt increased $38 billion during the third quarter. It is the largest jump in that metric in 2 decades. That means a lot of people use their credit cards out there. Yeah, they bought a lot of things on their credit cards. And so Wells Fargo went on to say that spending at the current rate past the immediate holiday shopping season may not be sustainable. So with that said, and thinking about all the purchases that happened over the Thanksgiving holiday shopping weekend, I was thinking about what are those rules that we could go by so that we are not financial zombies in 2023. I feel like in the process of giving and shopping and all the sales and all the hubbub and all the everything and all the messaging that we see every holiday season is so easy to get wrapped up in spending. And spending to the point where in 2023, in the new year, and this year, 2023, you are potentially behind and on track to become a financial zombie. Yeah, it's really easy to start the new year behind after a shopping frenzy like that. So what are some rules? Well, I came up with 2 rules and an idea. Yes, 2 rules and an idea. And the first one is make and stick to a budget. Yes, number 1, make and stick to a budget. Realistically, look at your finances and see how much you can spend without going into debt or adding additional debt, right? Because a lot of us have credit card debt, and that's part of the financial ducks that we want to get in a row before we start investing. And I do talk a lot about these financial ducks in my before investing class. So if you are interested to learn how to get those financial ducks and get ready to invest in 2023, check out my before investing class. So make and stick to a budget. And then number 2 is don't push the debt to 2023. Yeah, that was my other rule. Only spend for the holiday season on your credit card what you can pay off before the new year. Okay. So that week after the holidays, after Christmas, I want you to commit to yourself when you are budgeting that anything you spend on your credit cards for the holidays, you can pay off in that week. So that's my rule number 2 that I would like you to consider. And my third biggest idea, it's not a rule, but it is an idea, is not to spend money at all, but to give the gift of time. And now I know you guys are probably all rolling your eyes going, Jessica, what do you mean not give any gifts and not give something that's wrapped fancy with a bow and wrapping paper? Well, you could, once you hear my idea, you could do something creative. I know a lot of you are very crafty out there, but this is my idea. And for example, I am a really super busy mom. I'm so busy. And there are a lot of things, for example, around my house that could use fixing. And I would love for someone to like volunteer to help me, like give me the gift of like an hour of handiwork on my house. That would be like the most amazing thing ever. And then I started thinking about this whole concept of giving the gift of your time and your talents. And so many of you have so many really cool and interesting talents. And I have a friend who's really good at this. Her name is Colleen, and she has always given the best gifts of time. And I think I actually have one of like her gift certificates right here. Actually, I do. And this is just, she gave it to me just like this. And it says, what it is, where and when. So adorable, so adorable. So I always think of Colleen when I'm thinking about this idea of giving the gift of your time and your talents. So with that said, some of the ideas that I came up with would be like, for a busy, frazzled mom, give her the gift of like babysitting, like saying, hey, 2 hours of babysitting on a time that you would like. Right. Or even, stopping by and doing like story time for an hour, just to give her a break and entertain the kids for a little bit. And if your husband or you are handy, give the gift of fixing things, as I mentioned before. If you are a fashionista, go give the gift of like revamping someone's closet or going through the closet and doing new like combinations that are trendy. If you're an organizer, and I know a lot of people are organizers and other people aren't. Some people need help organizing, so you can give like the gift of organizing. If you have a car, you could offer a free ride to someone that doesn't have a car, or a designated driver like certificate, like a get out of jail free type deal. I thought that was a fun idea. If you love to cook, offer to give a cooking lesson. If you are into wine, do like a wine tasting or like a lesson. And if you are artsy, give the gift of arts and crafts. So yes, I just wanted to remind everyone this holiday season that you do not need to spend money to show people you care. Your love and friendship is enough. Let me repeat that. You do not need to spend money this holiday season to show people you care. Your love and your friendship is enough. So let your light and your love shine without going into debt, and find creative ways to give without breaking the bank. And in closing, with the new year upon us, I am wishing that for 2023, that your financial future will be brighter than your 2022. I am really amazed at the community we have built of women committed to financial health, growth, and freedom. You may be overwhelmed with getting your ducks in a row, and you may be feeling apprehensive about learning the language of investing. But it is baby steps, and I know you can do it. You're doing it just by being here today. And should you wish to take your money and investing journey outside the show, check out my self-directed classes, sign up for my mailing list to be notified of upcoming interviews, panels, workshops, and announcements. My January classes are now posted. And also check out my free mini course, Investing Sense, where I answer the top 3 questions women have when starting their investing journey. And you can find all of these on my website at HerFinIQ. I'm going to put this in the chat as well. There you go. Here, I'm Jessica Perrone. I am the founder of Her Financial IQ. You have been watching the Her Money and Investing Show. May the markets be in your favor. Thank you so much for coming. Happy holidays. Happy New Year. I will see you in January 2023. Cheers.